Are you a student or are you an intending student who wants to come and study in Canada? This video is for you. I realize that some people don't really know the difference between a study visa and a study permit. So I'm going to use this short video to explain the difference between a study visa and a study permit as it relates to Canada. So when you go to the embassy or when you apply for a visa to Canada, this time around when you apply for a study visa to Canada, you put your applications together, you submit it online, and when your application is approved, the embassy will ask that you should bring your passports. Now, when they ask to bring your passport, you send it to them. Then when it comes back, a visa will be stamped on your passport. This visa will tell you the number of days you have. Most times, it can tally with your length of studies. It's possible. Most times, it may just be shorter than that. It depends. The visa is given at the discretion of the visa officer that approved your visa. So the fact that your study program is 4 years doesn't mean they will give you a 4-year visa. They can also give you. The fact that your study is 1 year, you might even get longer than that. It depends. You can get shorter, you can get the same length, you can get something longer. It's at the discretion of the visa officer. So what you get on in your passports after your visa has been approved is what we call a visa. That visa will tell you the validity of the visa, which means as long as you come into Canada with that visa before that visa expires, you would likely be able to come in to study. It's not automatic that you'll be able to study, because the fact that you have a visa does not mean that you would be allowed in. But at least that visa allows any airline to airlift you and bring you to Canada. So now that's study visa. Now when you get to the point of entry, after you have used that visa to travel, you've gone to the point of entry, the visa officer or the border officer there would interview you, ask you about your admission, may ask you to show documents and all of that. And if they see that you have legitimate reason to come to study in Canada and you have all the evidence with you, they are fine with it. At that point of entry, they will issue you what we call a study permit. That study permit is a document that tells you how long you can study for. If there are conditions attached to your study, it will be written on that study permit. So for intending students or people that just got study visas, when you get to the point of entry, make sure that you ask for that permit. They will give you. Well, we've had some situations where some people were given permits that had issues on them. So when you get that permit, look at what's on it. Look at the time that was given you your permit. Does it cover the period of your study? So if you have a 1-year study, maybe your study is supposed to start September, you arrived in Canada in August, and your study should end in August next year. And the visa officer gives you from September till March. It's fine, but there's a problem. That means from after March, you can't study. Because if you study, you're already going against the terms of your permit. Your permit has limited you to study till March. But you continue to study after that time, and you might even have a 4-year visa on your passports, but they may give you a shorter period for your permits. So once you come to Canada, when you get to the point of entry, the most important information at that point or document at that point is your study permit. Is your study permit, not the visa. That visa is just for you to go out. If you go out of Canada, if you have a valid visa, you can use that visa to come back. But the permit is what allows you to study in Canada. So always check the validity or the date that is written on your permit, so that you are sure that you have study permits that allows you to study for the whole length of your study period. Now, if it doesn't cover your study period, it's not a big deal. We can help you with it, and you can do it by yourself. All you just need to do is, before that date expires, what you just need to do is apply for another study permits. You have to submit all your documents again, submit your enrollment letter, submit your admission letter, school fees that you have paid and all of that, proof of funds, you submit it and ask for extension of your study permits. Because I've seen cases where people mix it up that, oh, they have a visa. My visa is valid for 4 years, so I can continue to study in Canada for 4 years. No, it's the length of your study permit that determines how long you can study. And I've had cases of people thinking that, oh, I have a permit, I can come in and out of Canada anytime. We had someone that came to us recently who had a valid study permit. Unfortunately for him, he didn't know that his visa has expired, or he assumed that the permit is also a visa that allows him to come in. So he left Canada, went out, and they said goodbye to everybody. He got to the airport, they didn't allow him to fly because he had a valid study permit, but he did not have a valid visa. His visa had expired. He was just given 6 months. But because he assumed that because he had a valid study permit that was for 4 years, he can go out of Canada and come back anytime. Yes, that permit will be needed at the point of entry, or will be needed when any airline wants to carry you. They want to see why you have a right to stay in Canada. But without a valid visa, you can't travel. So if you're a student and you're planning to travel to your country of origin or anywhere outside Canada, check that your permit is valid. That's one. Also check that you have a valid visa, a current valid visa that is still valid, that still has some days on it. Because if you travel out of Canada without a valid visa, or if you travel with a valid visa and by the time you're coming back, your visa has expired, you will not be able to come back. So for that client now, we have to do what we call an emergency visa. We have to lobby the embassy that, please, this guy is stuck, he's schooling in Canada, he has to come back to Canada. He thought he made an error. He thought his permit was still valid, and that valid permit allowed him to come back to Canada. No. So be careful. You can have a valid permit, but without a valid visa, you can leave Canada, but you will not be able to come back into Canada. So don't make this mistake, because people make that mistake. When people that make that mistake, they end up messing up their studies and all of that. And if you're not careful, if your school cannot give you online accessibility at that time, if they can't allow you to study online at that time, then you won't be able to school for that period, and that could affect a lot of things when you're applying for future things in Canada. So don't mix up a study visa with a study permit. There are two different things they do different things, and there are two different documents. A visa is put in your passport. It allows you to travel in and out of Canada. Not that it doesn't allow you to travel out. You don't need a visa to travel out of Canada. Anybody can go out of Canada. But that visa allows you to come back. But a study permit allows you to continue to do what you are legally allowed to do in Canada. So if you have a valid visa, but you don't have a valid permit, it's also a problem. So both of them, they have what they do. I need to understand that so I don't mix it up, So if you have learned from this video, I want to admonish you to share with your friends, family members, or if you know anyone that is planning to come to Canada to come and study, you need to share this video with him or her so he or she can understand the difference between a study visa and a study permit.